But I'm telling you, this is the key. This is the secret. This is what blocks divine healing. You gotta get to a place in your heart where when the going gets tough, rather than loosening your grip and moving away from the promise of God, you actually begin to sink deeper. Hey everyone, Pastor Adam here. Welcome to our series on what to do if you're not healed. Today I want to share with you what I believe is the number one thing that blocks divine healing. Now with this message that God is going to speak through me, I'm going to prophesy over you. I'm going to have words of knowledge for specific people through this message. By the end of this message, we are all going to be walking more like Jesus in everyday life. Now what I believe is the number one thing that blocks divine healing is this. It's rather than grabbing a hold of the promise, and when things get tighter and harder, rather than sinking your grip deeper into the promise of God and His word about healing, you begin to loosen your grip as the enemy's pressure comes to try and get you off the promise and get you out of healing. Then when the enemy comes out to push you off the promise, you push back all the harder, saying, no, I'm not backing off. And honestly, when you get the grit in you that would take that to the grave in a figurative sense, that is when you begin to push past and experience divine healing. You have the heart to not give up. See, what God is saying to you right now in this moment is He's saying, rise up, grab a hold of the promise and don't let go. Don't give up. Don't back off when the enemy's putting pressure on you. And actually a story from the Bible that really illustrates, that really powerfully packs this home is the story of Peter walking on water. Because this story shows everything, and I'm talking everything about this issue that blocks divine healing. So in this story, Jesus is coming to the disciples on the water, and the disciples are in a storm, like things are not going well. You know, I can say something to you out of this text, and you got to hear this. Jesus meets you when the storm's on. See, Jesus, for the disciples, He wasn't with them in the boat battling, He was walking on the water. See, sometimes in your hardest moment when you're needing healing, to find the healing you need to shift your perspective and figure out, okay, I feel like I'm fighting this, I feel like I'm stressing over this, I feel like I'm getting battered by the enemy. Where is Jesus in my moment? Look for where Jesus is, and Jesus is in the promise. That's where He lives. So Jesus is walking on the water, and the disciples see Him. They see Him, and they freak out, and they say, oh my goodness, it's a ghost. What are we going to do? And yet Jesus says something powerful. Don't be afraid. It is I. See, when Jesus meets you in the storm, where Jesus is, He's saying to you, don't be afraid, it's me. Jesus is saying to you, if you're struggling to get healed, it's okay. Why? Because He's here. He hasn't left you. He hasn't abandoned you. Grab the promise. Hold tighter. Don't let go. Don't give up. He's still present. He's still God over the storm, and He's still walking on water today. You may be facing a storm, but Jesus is on top of your storm. And so Peter sees Him after he says this, and Peter answered Him, Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water. Peter sees where Jesus is in the moment. He sees where He's located. He sees that He's in a different position, and the position Jesus is in has no fear over the storm at all. Jesus isn't afraid. And Peter says, okay, where I'm at ain't so good. Where you are, Jesus, is way better. I'm coming out to where you are. See, you need to get that in your heart. Jesus is calling you out of the boat. He's calling you out of the stress. He's calling you out of the anxiety. He's calling you out of the fear. If you're not healed, He's calling you, hey, get to where I am. Shift your heart. Come be where I am and see things from my perspective, because I'm walking on water when you feel like you're sinking. And you can walk on the water too. Sink your hands deeper. Grip harder onto the promise. So Peter got out of the boat and walks on the water and came to Jesus. So Peter actually begins to experience a miracle. And this has happened to a lot of you who aren't healed, who are having trouble receiving healing. There's actually things happening in your body that you're not noticing. Things are happening. You might not be seeing it. But as prayer is being brought to you, as life and power is being released to you with each prayer, and it's pushing it out slowly over time. The way I look at it is you can either come at healing like a fire hose, or even better yet, like a flood that comes and just shoves everything out, or a lot of times people come out of it like the trickle drop of a little bit of water. It is hitting it is happening, but the movement's just really, really slow. So that's why you can't give up. That's why you need to not be afraid. And that's why you need to keep going. Don't lose heart. So Peter's walking on the water. He's experiencing a miracle. But here's what it said. This is so powerful. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid. He began to sink and cried out, Lord, save me. This is why healing is often blocked. It's that moment where it feels like crisis is on, like Peter. See, rather than Peter gripping onto what Jesus said, the command that Jesus said to him, you know what he did? He let go and became afraid. Fear is out to get you out of the promise, to make you let go. But what you need to do is that when you see, and all of a sudden you become more aware of the storm than Jesus, you got to refocus. God is saying to you, don't lose perspective. I haven't abandoned you. I haven't let you go. The promise is still real. I've still said in my word, by my stripes you're healed. Peter needed to let go of focusing on the storm, and he needed to focus back onto Jesus. But he doesn't. He becomes afraid and begins to sink. You might be feeling like you're sinking. But luckily, even if you're sinking right now and you're in a desperate moment, why am I not healed? And it feels like life is crashing all around you, you can cry out, Lord, save me. And he can refocus you. It really is a fight of faith in these moments. You got to choose, where am I going? What am I going to do? This is your crossroads, and this is the word of the Lord for you. You're at a crossroads. God is saying for the people watching this video, you have a choice. Do I go focus on Jesus and his promises and stay that road? Or do I lose heart and go to fear and begin to sink? This is your crossroad moment. What are you going to choose? I want you to type in the comments right now about your situation and what you're going to choose. And actually, even while you're down there, here's your release moment to begin to pray for people, to begin to pray for other people's issues. But we're going to create a surge of prayer and power that's going to push the enemy's power out of people's lives and see more people healed through this video, through the prayers of the people in the comments. You are released as a minister of the gospel. This is what you can do in this channel. We're all warriors for the gospel, walking like Jesus in everyday life for each other. Amen. That's what community does. So he cries out, Lord, save me. And Jesus saves him. But here's what Jesus says to Peter. Oh, you have little faith. Why did you doubt? Don't let doubt come and remove your hands from the promise. Right now is your decision. Grip tighter than you've ever gripped before. That's your decision, because doubt comes in like a little voice calling you to fear, calling you to give up, saying it's not working, it's not happening, just let go. But we're not people of little faith. Come on, someone type in, I am not a person of little faith. I have great faith in Jesus. And we believe in Jesus. We believe in his promise, and we believe his promises are yes and amen. So I don't want you to stop at this video. I want you to check out this video right here where I give you 5 alarming things that block divine healing. You need to see this video because some of these issues may be other things going on in your life right now that you need to change. I'll see you over there. God bless.